Hello everyone, this is Crypto Azzy, and today it's all about ICOs, initial coin offerings. And before I begin, a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm sharing what I learned in my own crypto journey, and I strongly advise you to always do your due diligence. And cryptocurrency are extremely volatile assets. Invest only what you can afford to lose. So, ICOs. What are ICOs? And ICOs are initial coin offerings. It's a crowdfunding mechanism for companies that accept cryptocurrencies instead of traditional currency. And these crowdfunding events are known as token sales. Now, during the token sales, ICOs are distributed digital tokens. They're distributed to the investors in exchange for cryptocurrency investment. And these tokens represent part ownership in the company. It's a promise of future profits or pegged to the company's product or services. And after the token sale, ICO tokens become available to trade on exchanges. And many of these tokens have skyrocketed value, and they've literally created millionaires in the past few years. And in 2016 and 17 alone, over $1.5 billion in capital has been raised via ICOs. And in fact, the total capital raised in ICOs has exceeded venture capital, seed, and angel funding for the first time in history. And this is because ICOs are disrupting the traditional methods of funding companies. Fred Wilson, a venture capitalist and early investor in Facebook and Twitter, he admits ICOs represent a legitimate disruptive threat. And as you can imagine, before cryptocurrencies, tech companies and startups with great ideas, they could only raise funds through a handful of ways. For example, private equity, venture capital, bank loans, or savings, or campaigns. And these investment opportunities were limited to a small number of investors, and you did have to be an accredited investor, know the right people, and have quite a lot of money. And so the great thing about ICOs, with the emergence of blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, they've completely changed how companies grow and raise money. And tech startups are now turning to the blockchain to raise capital for their projects. And what they do, they bring together teams of competent people from around the world, then market themselves to the public via social media tools. Investors like you from anywhere in the world can then invest using cryptocurrencies. There's no limit to how much you can invest. It could be even as little as $20, $50, $100 to as much as $100,000, $2,000, $5,000, $1 million, whatever the ICO allows you to invest. It varies from ICO to ICO, and they are accessible to all. There's usually two types. There's the pre-sale and there's the general sale. And pre-sales tend to be for accredited investors. So they're very, very useful. And with ICOs in particular, so they all offer the same process to launch token sales. The standard steps are the team comes together, they propose a viable blockchain project, and they need to raise money via ICO to make it a reality. And the project produces a white paper. This describes the technical specifications, business model, and a roadmap to achieve scale and generate revenues. And projects will have a working prototype as proof of concept if they're already prepared and that they have that. But sometimes there isn't any working prototype, so you have to go by their word, by their vision and ideas. The team conducts a series of intense marketing campaigns via forums, Google Ads, social media, video bloggers, reviews. A marketing campaign get people excited about the upcoming ICO. And the project then outlines the terms and conditions of their upcoming token sale to the public. And some of the metrics you do have to be aware and take a look at is the number of tokens available for distribution, the price of each token, the utility of the token, and how much the projects are targeting to raise. And ICO token sale launches, and the coins are then distributed to investors taking part in the sale. And then after that, the tokens become available for trading on exchanges. And ICO token sales, they're conducted on cryptocurrency blockchains. And that is ICOs in a nutshell. And what would happen usually once the ICO has raised the money, the funds required, an address, you would normally have provided an address for you to receive your tokens, and they will send them out in proportion to your investment. So you usually pay either with a Bitcoin or Ethereum, and those tokens, if they are on the Ethereum blockchain, if they do, for example, use the ERC20 standard token, then that's what you'd receive in your Ethereum wallet. One of the popular ones is myetherwallet.com. Now, with Ethereum, speaking of Ethereum, it was extremely successful. It ran for 4 weeks. It raised $18 million to build what is today the second most popular cryptocurrency. And what's special about Ethereum is that other ICOs, other tokens and companies, they use Ethereum blockchain to then, issue their own tokens, and they're able to also, that's because of the smart contract features with Ethereum, and they're much more, ICOs are much more efficient on that. And the standard set out, it's a set of functions that can be understood and recognized by the whole Ethereum ecosystem. And once the ICO smart contract is described using this standard, the ERC20, all the participants of the Ethereum blockchain recognize it in the same way. And in turn, wallets, exchanges, miners on the Ethereum can manage tokens like they do cryptocurrencies. And so that's why it's the de facto choice for ICOs. It is because of Ethereum's popularity. It's also led to the demand for Ether, and it's also raised the price, which is why Ethereum is so successful. And some examples, in 2016 and 17 alone, over $1.5 billion have been raised in ICOs. They include Genesis, $13 million in April 2017, Tezos, $232 million, July 2017, and the world's biggest was Filecoin, $250 million in August 2017. And essentially, you can take part in ICOs. You can access these depending how early you want to get in. And you can do this by buying tokens through exchanges. You can get the ICO, the tokens from there. And you can also get it, obviously, directly from ICOs. And they all end up on exchanges and become available for trading after the ICO have finished. And so that's why you don't have to worry if the ICO was popular and it sold out quickly. The tokens are listed on exchanges, so you can purchase it from there. And also with ICOs, the good news, well, I have to mention that they normally, if you get in the right ICOs quite early, you are able to benefit from the fact that usually with ICOs, there was an article that I read that mentioned that there was a research done by Mangrove Capital, and they said they did a test of over 700 ICOs, and they had come back with an average return of 1,320%, which is incredible. And so the good news is, even if you invest in an ICO, you're not sure whether this will, do as they say, or if it will be successful or not. Most times it does end up being a lot more valued at a lot more money than what you originally invested. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is from experience. I've been able to invest in Cobinhood, Utrust, and they have, and others as well, and they have come back with returns that are 10 times, 20 times more than what I originally invested. So it's been amazing so far. And wanted to show you this website, ICOhotlist.com, where you can take a look at different ICOs that are active, upcoming. You can even take a look at the past ones and trade in. And what's useful is that they rank them, and these ones you can take a look at in your own time. But I'll show you, for example, this is where you would view the white paper. If you wanted more details on that ICO, you could go to the website. And to show you the second one, cryptoinvest.com/ICO. This does also give you a guide as to which ICOs may do well. And as you can see, they're in sections, and it's quite useful to have this. So I will put the link in the description. So that is ICOs. And I hope you found value. You've got value and insight from this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and like, subscribe, comment, donate if you want. And I will do another video. The next video will be which, in my opinion, which tokens, which coins will do extremely well. And I will post that in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. Until next time, take care. Crypto Azzy, over and out.